The Morris-Jumel mansion and Villa Chiericati, its Palladian antecedent. The Morris-Jumel mansion was built in 1765 as a summer residence on a 100-acre farm in northern Manhattan. Its current address is 65 Jumel Terrace, New York, New York. It was designed by Colonel Roger Morris, the son of a prominent London architect and a loyalist who was forced to flee the country at the onset of the Revolution. The property was seized by George Washington, who turned it into his headquarters during the Battle of Harlem Heights. In 1810, the building was purchased by Stephen Jumel, a Frenchman with connections to the Napoleonic court. Together with his wife Eliza Jumel, they made many renovations to the house. The connection to the Napoleonic dynasty may explain certain Napoleonic architectural tropes visible in the house's restoration. Aaron Burr married the widow Eliza Jumel. They were married in the parlor, and he spent many summers in the house. The Morris-Jumel mansion is an example of Georgian architecture and exhibits the earliest extant colonnade in the United States. Its peculiar octagonal wing is also unique. The extension of the porch, balcony, and main entrance portal were all completed at later dates. Andrea Palladio was born in the Venetian Republic in the early 16th century. Although all of his designed houses and buildings are only to be found in the Veneto region, his 4 books of architecture greatly influenced domestic architecture throughout the world. He himself was heavily influenced by Greco-Roman architecture, particularly the works of Vitruvius. Thus, neoclassicism is prominently featured in his works. General Palladian elements which are striking in the Morris-Jumel mansion include the Palladian window on the second story. A Palladian window, as featured, is a central window with a semicircular crown, which is in turn flanked by 2 smaller rectangular windows, which each in turn are flanked by either pilasters or columns. Another prominent feature of Palladian architecture found in the Morris-Jumel house is the iconic pedimented portico. Here is the pediment with its raking cornice in front of the Morris-Jumel mansion. The semicircular window within the pediment may reflect the thermal window, or at least a version of it, as it was used by Palladio in many of his works. The colonnaded portico here in the Morris-Jumel mansion is a combination of pilasters on the facade of the building and columns in Doric order on piers. Molding is heavily featured in this work around the windows and doorways. The interior is what is called Spartan, that is to say, it is quite plain. Although pilasters seem to be attached to the walls here, this is in fact just an illusion created by a wallpaper. Roman arches, another big Palladian feature, together with the Spartan design, is exhibited frequently throughout the house, and so are the crown moldings which surround the interior of every room. The entrance portal is in fact an expression of the Palladian window. Its expanded crown is visible on top, and the doorway replaces the central window. Coins and horizontal bands are another Palladian element which is featured strongly in the Morris-Jumel house. The bands divide the house visibly from the outside into sections and create a base which is distinct from the house. The coins are the stepped brick-like elements on the corners of the house. A hipped roof is another common feature of Palladian architecture. Unlike plain gabled roof, which is gabled at both ends, the hipped roof has a pyramidal shape, which is visible on all 4 sides. Villa Chiericati is undoubtedly the antecedent of the Morris-Jumel mansion. It was built in the Veneto circa 1550 and was designed by Palladio. Palladian elements in common with the Morris-Jumel mansion include a prominent base, a pedimented portico, this time in Ionic order, and Roman arches visible inside the portico, and moldings around the windows and doors, and the hipped roof. It is undoubtedly the antecedent of the Morris-Jumel mansion and all domestic Palladian buildings throughout the world.